His Excellency Akataga knew what would happen to Japan. There's no way that can be real. I refuse to believe it. It's barely above a conspiracy theory. Or so I wish I could say. The problem is, Captain Kamaki's logic is pretty damn airtight. And if she's right, the Royal Guard is responsible for the deaths of millions of Japanese people. Ellen? Oh, it's you, Ellen. What's up? Oh yeah, should have said something. No, I haven't eaten yet. Can't say I have much of an appetite. Believe it or not, you couldn't be further from the truth. Well, no matter. I'll be on my way. Pretty much everyone who comes here wants to be alone with their thoughts. Ellen's no different. Wouldn't want to get in her way. Let's hear it. Hell yeah. I love some real talk with the homies. Let's go. May not be a bad idea to take her up on her offer. I mean, you're sort of better off thinking about this stuff on your own, but that doesn't mean you can't ask for help. Ellen's a good listener and a straight shooter. She's great looking, so people expect her to be kind of a ditz, but appearances can be deceiving, as they say. I'm glad we have the sort of relationship where we can pretty much talk about anything. Funny how things turned out. What are you going on about now? Wrong. I don't. What was with the innuendo? The insinuations. How the hell am I supposed to tell if she's serious or not? Cut it out. There are moments when I wonder if it's okay to leave Miyono in her care. Like right now. She's having a laugh at my expense again, ain't she? No, never give up hope, Hibiki. Never give up hope. He's like, damn it! It's your stupidity that came as a shock. Dealing with you is mentally exhausting, I swear. For a second there I was worried because it's a delicate subject. Shame on me. Should have known better. You don't even know what I want to talk about. Well, can't say anything to that. We going somewhere? I ain't really in the mood, but feeling blue won't make the situation any better. Gotta stay positive. Sounds good to me. Let's pick somewhere lively, though. Last thing we need is people overhearing us. Was that gonna be the recurring fucking moment in this one? You know, in episode 1 where it's like, you shared a moment with all the homies up on the hill, now we're gonna have a moment with like all our homies at the bar. Start off with Matsukaze, now Ellen. What's next? We're gonna take fucking Kusumoto to the bar, then Yusuke. We're totally taking Yusuke to the bar, right? That's totally gonna happen, calling it right now. We're gonna want to talk to her about, her family issues and be like, no, listen, I got the place, alright? It used to be reasonably priced too. Now my wallet bleeds just by looking at the menu. Don't be so negative, dude. There's always a chance Canada will end up on our side, right? I mean, France stole some Canadian land even before this all started. Ain't such a crazy idea. Eastern Canada has been a French leasehold for quite some time now.
避難先のケベックで取った最高政策は今でも対比国家の幸福なお手本と言われてるほどなのよ。
All thanks to this one diplomat, Laurent does something. One of the fathers of the Reconstruction. Heard all about it during my time in Europe. Yeah, that name makes you uncomfortable, doesn't it? It's thanks to this dude's tireless diplomatic efforts with Canada, most importantly with the United States, that the French people have a place to call home.
なんとかじゃないわよ。そう、ローラン・ダンベルクール。
That's got nothing to do with France of today, though. You of all people should know about the coup d'etat that happened like days after the Great Ocean collapse. Oh, she does. The man literally saved their asses. What does he get in the way of thanks? Off with his head. It's also when the French started taking a hard line with no room for compromise. Japan saw significant political upheaval during that time, too. And much like in France, blood was shed and a new order was born. At the end of the day, we ain't any better.
ええ、わかってるわ。この間の生産プラントのことだって、フランスが何らかの形で絡んでいるのは間違いないと思うし。でも、ケベック出身の私としては、正直フランス人は同胞みたいなところがどうしても。
Oh, I wonder why. I'm sure the French are very close to your heart, Ellen. Yeah, I get you.
私はカナダ・ケベックの出身。でもフランス・ケベック出身の知り合いはたくさんいるわ。そんなだからスパイだって疑われるのよね。仕方がないけど。
Espionage, huh? Yeah, it's gotta be why Major Jinguji told me to keep her under observation. I thought she was only telling me to keep a close eye on her, but nope. It's enough of that. I was trying to lighten up the mood, but it's obvious my efforts backfired. Sorry.
気にしてないわ。それよりも響の話をしてよ。重い話って何なの？
Yeah, sorta. Thing is, I learned something about the Great Ocean collapse that I would have been better off not knowing. Well, it's not actually a hard fact, more like an interpretation, but one that makes an awful lot of sense.
続けてくれる？
You know how a planet-wide gravitational anomaly happened during Babylon, right after the attack with like a million G-bombs? Where were you at the time? Did you feel the after effects right away?
ああ、ごめん。その時私上にいた。
That is true.
軌道降下のために低軌道上で待機してた。だから。
Yeah, stupid question. I think I've told you before, but I was assigned to a warship in Europe back then. What I'm about to tell you is what I've heard happened in Japan. First, there were strong winds and earthquakes. Some of them even lasted for over 5 minutes. I don't need to tell you that ain't normal. If you looked at the sky, you could see the clouds moving like a movie, playing in fast forward. Pretty much everything was off that day. Then the rain and wind kept growing more and more intense. There were a ton of aftershocks. Bridges and highways collapsed. That's how strong they were. Everything was a mess, but people thought the situation was so bad it couldn't get any worse. Of course, Blue Ocean wasn't in effect quite yet. I don't remember anyone telling us we were supposed to evacuate from Eurasia. Anyway, back in Japan, Captain Komaki was apparently assessing the damage taken by one of the Japanese bases. So while all this shit was going down, the meteorological agency issued a report. A massive tsunami would hit a huge chunk of the Japanese mainland in less than an hour. The captain was stationed in Tokyo and got deployed to the nearby coast of Chiba along with her TSF unit. She was there to compel the residents to evacuate to higher ground. The tsunami was expected to be 10 meters tall. Thanks to the IJMDF, there were 0 civilian casualties in that area. Property damage is another story. Pretty much everything that wasn't nailed down, and the stuff that was washed away. You follow me so far? I'll keep going then, because that's not nearly the end of it. The earthquakes continued, but they were too strong to be considered mere aftershocks. The government started to worry another tsunami might hit soon, and the decision was made to completely evacuate all coastal towns. Obviously, all residents were ordered to evacuate inland to higher grounds or mountains, and these orders were enforced immediately. Meanwhile, the military received entirely different orders. In bases that were likely to suffer damage, officers were told to gather all ships and load TSFs plus other heavy machinery on board. You couldn't use the roads when millions of people were in the process of evacuating to high ground all at once. Then, having a bunch of TSFs flying around would have only caused panic among the population. At the very least, that's what the captain... what all the dockhands thought at the time. See, at the same time this was happening, there was a third set of orders issued from the supreme military leader to Kawasaki Heavy Industries.
川崎重工柚香のパパ
The one and only. Maybe the same order was given to other companies, but fact is, the instructions were to flee the country, save as much of your machinery and personnel as you can, and get the hell out of there.
ちょっと待って、国外に脱出？とてもじゃないけど収容しきれないでしょ。
There could be an innocent explanation for all of this. If a tsunami hits, it's safer to be in deeper waters out in the ocean than near the coast. Because the alternative would imply someone knew Japan was going to sink. There's no way that's possible. Also, I don't know if you're aware, but Kawasaki Heavy Industries was building a TSF factory in Southeast Asia. Yusuke's old man told us they had already secured a bunch of huge-ass tankers for that purpose. The plan was to fill these ships to capacity with company personnel and all sorts of materials, then set sail.
でも内陸に避難している人たちは港になんて来ないでしょ。
You got that right. Captain Kamaki thought something was fishy about the whole story too. Then she used the opportunity to probe at the truth. That's when things got ugly. Because she reached a conclusion that I don't want to believe is true. The supreme military leader planned to save only a small percentage of the Japanese population from the start. What he wanted wasn't to help the Japanese people survive, but to keep our heavy machinery and TSF safe. That's why he ordered to evacuate the population inland, to buy the government time. Now I ain't saying I completely buy into the captain's story, but I have to admit the circumstantial evidence supports her case.
いくつか確認したいんだけど、川崎重工のその船、避難民以外には何が積み込まれていたの？
I can practically see the wheels turning inside her head. I knew Ellen wouldn't dismiss the story as just crazy talk. She's trying to probe around, poke holes in it. It's exactly what I was hoping for. I didn't hear the specifics, but I was told it was heavy machinery to build the TSF factory in Southeast Asia. You know the production plant towering over Seattle Bay? That's part of the cargo too.
川崎重工の船は資材を下ろして国民を乗せたというわけではない。
That sounds about right. The old man said they tried to get as many people as possible on board, but I don't know. Giving Mr. Glasses the benefit of the doubt, the ships probably were out in the open ocean already. It might have been too late to call them back to port by the time they learned about the tsunami.
タイが何を考えたのか理解できたわ。多くの日本人も現場の帝国軍も全員騙された。そしておそらく柚香のパパはタイと響に嘘をついた。
Well, of course not. Yeah, the captain thought the same.
閣下にとって大事だったのは国民ではなく生産プラントや戦術。
I'd love to say she's wrong. There's too many things that seem off. For starters, the evacuation orders. Say the people weren't told to evacuate inland, but to the sea instead. No doubt ports would have been hectic and crowded, and loading equipment on board would have been outright impossible. Sure, this sounds like a conspiracy theory, but I can't help suspecting the population was forced to evacuate inland to clear the way. And if that's true, the supreme military leader knew that Japan would be swallowed by the waves all along. But is that even possible? Maybe if they had incredibly accurate models predicting how the Great Ocean Collapse would unfold, which would raise more questions than answers.
だとしたら川崎重工だけじゃなく主だった兵器メーカーには同じような命令が出ていたと考えるべきよね。
There's no way to know for sure anymore. Fugaki and Mitsuhishi lost basically everything during the Great Ocean Collapse. Practically all the ships that didn't manage to escape in time were caught by those mega tsunamis. Same thing happened to our carrier, actually. Those waves were dozens of meters tall. We were lucky the keel wasn't damaged too badly, or we'd all be sleeping with the fishes. Sure, some of their people must have survived, but it ain't like we have their employee personnel files. At least the captain thinks it's fairly likely they got the same orders. So, any thoughts?
どうっておかしいに決まってるわよ。政府が蘇生して国民を救おうとしないなんて。
I know it sounds insane, but it's not that irrational. There's a good chance that, if His Excellency Ikaruga prioritized saving the population, the Empire would be in a much worse position than France is in these days. Beset by famine, powerless to take what we need by force, literally the worst possible situation to be in. The only reason we're not in the same boat is because the right number of people survived, and that was the intended result. Man, talk about hard choices.
何言ってるの？大丈夫？それは結果論でしょ？
Oh yeah. I've heard how this shifty bastard speaks. I've seen how this shifty bastard thinks, alright? He's a shifty bastard. I think maybe he didn't have a, concrete 100%, certainty that it was going to happen, but the moment it became a possibility, he was like, listen, I gotta get ahead of this.
大解放が起きるかどうかすらわからなかった頃に、ヨシンバ、バビロン作戦に関わる極めて少数の人間はそれを知っていたとして、閣下がその一人だったとして、そんな彼らが大解放によってこんな風になってしまうという予想まで立てていたっていうの？それって地球上にたったこれだけしか国や人が残らない世界を彼らは望んで作ったってことにならない？
Yeah, sounds like pure nonsense when you put it that way.
ちょっと響、こんなことで私を
She's got a point. Me and the captain, we probably jumped the gun. Anyone would feel the same as Ellen after hearing this thing. All this sounds almost as plausible as that stupid-ass rumor about orbital divers getting killed by orange juice or something. I mean, come on. The Supreme Military Leader knew everything that was going to happen? Completely out of the question. Me and Her Highness are on the same side. She's dead set against the Royal Guard's plans. Only natural I'm predisposed to expect the worst from them. Everybody deserves a fair shake. I shouldn't give in to my biases.
じゃあ閣下は神の預言者ってこと？彼のすることに従っていれば私たちは生き延びられるってわけかしら？
I ain't sure about that yet. The guy may have done some ruthless shit, but he already saved our asses once. Maybe doing his bidding might not be the worst idea in the world. You don't get something like that right because of sheer luck. It simply doesn't happen.
そういう割には態度が否定的よね。何が不満なの？正義軍か。
For starters, because I share Her Highness's ideals. I believe with all my heart that we can build a better world if we make her ideals come true. His Excellency is a pragmatist, a man who would not flinch from using power and violence as a means. Wherever he's leading us, I bet you'll have to sell our souls to the devil to get there. I know we're on the brink of extinction. I know some sacrifices have to be made. But once we've thrown away our very humanity, will we really be better off?
それは
I get it. At the end of the day, I can't really prove any of this. It's all my own interpretation of what happened. No need to remind me. It's just, I can't get the idea out of my mind. I want to make Her Highness's ideals come to life. That's what I think will lead us to a better future. But at the end of the day, I can't say for a fact it's the right thing to do. Lofty ideals are fine and all, but nothing comes without a price. Can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. And it's no stretch to say she wants to make the mother of all omelets.
助けになるかどうかわからないけど、意見していいかしら？
Hit me with it. Sure, shoot.
きっとユズカのパパも彼の立場なりにそういう悩みを持ってたはずよ。日本脱出命令が下った時、資材を優先することに対して現場にいた彼は何も感じなかったのかしら。私はそこで説得されたのか気づいたのかはわからないけど、その命令の意味を彼は理解した。
Knowing your decision could lead some good people to lose their lives. Yeah, I've been there a couple of times myself.
彼もいろいろ考えたでしょうね。それこそ今の響のように知り得る知識を総動員して状況を判断したのだと思う。結局彼はイカルガ閣下を信じるという選択をした。その結果多くの避難民を見捨てることになった。彼もきっと閣下の指示が正しかったことに内心驚いているでしょうね。そして今となってはその手助けができたことに誇りを。だから彼はこの先死ぬまでその責任を取り続けるでしょう。誇りを持って。そして閣下を裏切ることは絶対にない。
Yeah, because if you did, all those deaths would have been in vain.
響だって同じ立場に立たされているんじゃない？残念ながらイカルガ閣下やユーヒ殿下が何をしようとしているのか、その意味までは理解できていないようだけど。
Fair enough.
でもその代わり響にはユズカのパパには与えられなかった時間がある。今答えを出してもいいし、もっと悩んでもいい。響はもう少しだけ 2人が見ている未来を、今2人が掲げるものの意味を探ろうとしたっていいのよ。でもこれだけは考えておいて。イカルガ閣下と夕日殿下が対立したら、その答えを
He looks so shocked at that fucking concept. What if they clash with each other? What? How? That's not possible.
時間があるからといってそれに甘えていると取り返しがつかなくなるから気をつけてね。
She's got that right. Better spend what time I got in my hands meaningfully, or I'll be at risk of making the wrong choice when it matters the most.
ああ、それから私の言葉、あくまでも想像に基づいた意見だから。ゆずかのパパ、もっと悪人かもしれないわよ。
Whoa, that's one hell of a disclaimer right there.
あら、決めるときは自己責任って言っただけよ。
Yes, message received. I need to take responsibility for my actions. It's not like I wanted to bring this up because I was fishing for answers or something.
どうせ答えは決まってるくせに。でしょ？ちょっと相手の桁外れの凄さを垣間見て、おじけづいちゃったのね。
Shut up.
響は誰を信じるの？
Her Highness Yuhi. And just because I like her on a personal level, or because we share the same goals. Major Jinguji also cares for the Shogun a great deal, to the point where she would gladly sacrifice her own life. That speaks volumes about Her Highness's character. If the person who is my mentor, who remains my role model, believes in her, that settles it for me. Yeah, I'll follow Her Highness to the ends of the earth.
どっちをひいきにするにせよ、私は響の選択を支持するわよ。
Hell yeah, homie shit. Thanks, dude. I'm glad you have my back. Anyway, you're really full of surprises.
あら、どういう意味？
I don't know, like, there's this huge gap between who you pretend to be and the real you. Always acting all easygoing and stuff when you're actually super analytical and scary smart.
そうかしら。そんなに私ギャップがある？
You don't see it yourself? No way. You gotta be playing things down on purpose.
バカね、買いかぶりすぎよ。私そんなに器用じゃないし。
Gotta wonder about that. Orbital divers are the cream of the crop. For someone who climbed to the top of the mountain, putting up an act would be a piece of cake.
それこそ買いかぶり。
It's almost like she's been putting on an act the entire time you've known her. What? What's this now? A humble bragging competition? Look at Ellen, acting all precious and stuff. Tee-hee, am I cute?
本当ね。
Alright, I've said my piece. Now it's your turn.
そういえば、そういう話もあったっけ？
Come on, man. No need to be shy. I almost got cold feet too, because, oh boy, that was one doozy of a story. Ah. Another blackout. Really? About time they start going easy on the microwave ovens. Place looks new enough, but I guess appearances can be deceiving. Huh? Ellen? Hey, Ellen? What's wrong? Whoa! Keep it together, Ellen. What's wrong? What's she so afraid of? You feeling sick? Give me a sec, I'll go call a doctor right away. What? What's going on with her? Bro, that's it. It's a story for another time, my guy.